Hello, everyone. I know it's been a while. We are back to season 2, episode 5. A lot of people have been asking, especially now since I haven't kind of been on, what is the reason for this podcast, Millen's Occasion podcast, where I am also owner of Millen's Occasions, wedding coordinator and event planner. So the podcast kind of came through after when COVID happened, how the industry kind of just shut down. Entrepreneurs, business owners, like literally lost a lot of their business. So this was another way to give more exposure. So we just kind of go into it, we'll go further, and I have some amazing guests, we'll get into that. But I do want to say, again, thank you for listening and watching Millen's Occasion podcast, brought to you by AWL Creative Community here at the Wedding Loft in Leesburg, Virginia. My name is Millen Haile. I will be your host today. I'm a wedding and event planner. I created this podcast to promote entrepreneurs in the wedding event industry. My goal is to help and support the community. We all know COVID has created slow businesses for many, but no industry has hit as hard as the event industry. I thought this would be a way to help us all connected and educated and positive. What you'll be listening to on YouTube is the JoJo Jazz, created by the music for the podcast, and have many wonderful sounds for all styles and ears. Today, are my two guests, Casey and Matt. They are the owner of the local proposal. I can't wait for them to share all the fun things that they prepare for their clients and propose. We'll show you something extra fun later on at the end, before we end it. Before the show is over, I met Casey and Matt here at the AWL Creative and just fell in love with them. Not just myself, I mean all the members here. And I think you'll do the same. And they became members, of course. We just fell in love with them again. I'll let these two take over to introduce themselves. Casey and Matt, can you go ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Sure. So we're Casey and Matt Tregoning. We've been married for 2 years now, and we both have full-time government jobs. And when COVID hit, we saw an opportunity to kind of build something a little bit creative and outside of the box. And when we first started dating, we both said we wanted to own our own businesses. And I don't think either of us thought it would be this business in particular, but it's been really fun. So, we own the local proposal. I'm the chief proposal officer, and Matt is our chief operating officer. And we just help people create, their perfect proposal. It's not easy, and it's just getting bigger and more, it's just getting bigger with COVID and how people haven't been able to have the weddings that they wanted to, so they do bigger proposals, and we help them bring that to life. So
yeah, because as you said, during COVID everything stopped. But everybody was still getting proposed to, so you have a huge backlog coming in. But what people don't realize is a proposal is an event. It's a memory that people don't capture and cherish, and that's something that we want to make sure that we can help somebody going forward.
Amazing. We're definitely going to get details. And we have a couple of questions also for some audience that I have captured a little bit. So I do want to welcome you and pleasure to have you again. We just cannot wait to hear about this. So I know you kind of spoke about it a little bit. You did say something about yourself. What was the name of the local proposal? How that came up with that?
Yeah, wow. So I think, we love Loudoun County, of course. We met here, we've started to build our lives here, and we just love the different atmosphere it brings to you because, when you're right outside of DC, you still got the hustle and bustle, but it's more of a little bit laid back. And we saw so many local entrepreneurs suffer. The big wigs, they still made their money, but the local businesses really took a hurting to it. And so that's what we like to try and incorporate our local businesses in our plan. So, you're not only helping us, build, your dream proposal, but, you're helping other local businesses around. So wherever your proposal is, whether it's here in Loudoun County or it's wherever you dream of it being, we're going to help you connect with those local people around you.
Okay. So you're definitely going to travel even outside Loudoun County.
So we definitely travel. We go up to about 35 miles, and then after that, we do a little travel fee, but we're definitely willing to go wherever your dream is.
Yeah.
Even out of state.
Yeah, and I mean,
You heard that? Out of state.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of that.
If you like need us to be on site for the proposal, that's something that we will definitely do destination proposals for sure, if that's something somebody is interested in. But even just like we've had friends who are like, I don't want to propose. They live here, but they don't want to propose here, and I'm like, okay, well, like, how are you gonna find your vendors in Outer Banks or Myrtle Beach or wherever it is that you're proposing? So we also have built it into our business model to help them do the research to find the best local vendors down wherever they might be proposing.
Okay.
So we also can help in that fashion too.
So how do you exactly get your clients prepared? Do you get a lot of that?
So it really depends on, a lead time, because you got to remember, it's an event that you're creating. So
Some don't think that.
some,
No. I would say majority
we've done a week ahead of time where it was like, okay, but you're putting a lot more stress not only on your vendors, but you put it on yourself, and you shouldn't have to go through that. So that's why we encourage guys or whoever's looking to propose, give yourself a lot of time. Give yourself like 3 months at least. It takes a long time. Plus, getting a ring and stuff like that, it takes time to get those as well, because a lot of times you're not going to walk out of the shop with it.
Yeah.
You've got to order it, it's got to be made and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
But just, it's funny because I think clients come to us at all different phases in their planning mentally.
Yes.
So you have the guy that's like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just know I want it to be this. And
Right.
you're like, okay, cool. We can find and that's really fun for us because we can think of all the different vendors that we can pull in to make it possible. When they come to us and they're like, it's gonna be in a month and I don't know what I want to do. That's really cool because that gives us an opportunity to really help create and do the design work. So it just depends. But I mean, preparing them wise, we've gotten a lot better with the little things that you can do with leading up to the proposal and during the proposal. Our biggest tip we always give is when you kneel down to actually propose, try to stay down for at least 10 to 15 seconds. That is the hardest thing for some of our clients to remember because it's so long. And so, but for the photographer or videographer's sake, it helps capture that moment.
Yeah.
That's our biggest tip we give. And then, we also help our clients with backstories. So if they have to get their partner somewhere, then we really help create that and they'll be honest with us. They'll be like, no, they won't believe that. And then, we'll work back and forth on it to try and make sure it's perfect so it can be a true surprise. Because I would say probably 95% of our clients, that's the one thing they want is it to be a true surprise, which is hard to pull off.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's a lot of work. I see it all the time. I'm like, oh, just give me the easy stuff. So I heard you speaking about venues. You guys have certain connection with certain venues. So your client style, when they kind of give you an idea, you're like, oh, I know what venue they need to go.
Absolutely, and that's what we try to learn about, because it's not only about you, it's learning about your partner through you as well. So we try to really mentor people about, okay, tell us a little bit about your partner. Are they shy? Do they like to be out in public? Because that's really going to determine what kind of venue and setting they're going to do.
Some people don't like surprises.
Absolutely. So just
or don't like a crowd.
Right, don't like a crowd.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
one of our clients, he was like, oh, I'm going to propose in front of 25 people in this
25 of her friends and family.
in a crowded restaurant and stuff like that.
Well,
And we were like,
and I was just going to say, and then the restaurant, you already got 100 people there. Yeah.
So we were like, based on what you told us about your partner, we're not totally sure that's something she would love. And so we did we created a PowerPoint of what about these different options that we could do to kind of make a more private, intimate, and then you can still have that party afterwards with friends and family, and it can still be a surprise.
Yep.
So that really is a big mentoring part that comes with, working with our clients, which is something we love to do too.
But we definitely have a lot of venues that we've made connections with.
And restaurants.
And restaurants, whether
Awesome.
indoor, outdoor, wherever your heart desires,
Yeah.
we're going to.
Yeah, that connection is so important because as me for wedding coordinating and event planning, that connection helps, and it's amazing how it helps your clients.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, then you don't have to worry about this price, or you don't have to, we can give you this. So that's why a lot of time I always mention about that.
Yeah, and many venues are very hesitant about letting people go, especially if they don't know you. So bringing us in is, we already have a working
connection.
relationship with
Yeah.
them. They're going to trust us with their stuff.
Exactly.
And we want to, and the biggest thing that we always tell specifically our venue partners when we go in is that we want to respect your land or your property, wherever we're going in, and we're not only here for our clients, but we're here to help, make sure that everything is the way it is. Because the thing is, we have a lot of amazing companies like the picnic companies that are coming out of the pandemic, but it's so important that we keep up and make sure that we're taking care of our venue friends too. So we really drive that home with them. And so we've built a lot of those partnerships. I would say we've built a lot of venue partnerships, and it's also being strategic with the venues too, because for a wedding planner, you look at wedding venues.
Exactly.
We can't bring a client to a wedding venue because it doesn't make sense. What's the backstory, So we have to think a little bit more innovative and think outside the box, and that's been helpful too. But we've been really fortunate with the partnerships that we've made, and we're excited in 2022 to expand that out into the surrounding counties. Yeah.
Oh, that is great. Now, we all know how this weather been. Has not been our best friend. So for some clients that wants outdoor, you have to be prepared what's going to happen. So do you have plan B already set up just in case?
Yeah, you definitely, we always try to throw in an alternative plan.
Yes.
It's just like a wedding,
Exactly.
You're going to have an inside part just in case something happens outside. So we try to always be prepared and, have a plan B just in case. So
Yeah, I would say we have a plan A, B, C, and D most of the time. Just
Right.
because of how
I was just going to say, yeah.
But I mean, and and what is good about a proposal is it's a little bit more flexible, unlike a wedding where you have to have it on that day and time. With a proposal, if you see a big storm coming or whatever it might be, you can either shift to an indoor opportunity or, let's try again next weekend. So that's really helpful too.
Okay, so my other question is, do you do packages for proposal? Do you do all in one, or do you guys have also a la carte?
Okay. So we have 3 different levels. So the first one that we have is our $99 one, which is a proposal planner starter pack. So what that means is that we will talk with a client for an hour. We'll help them select a location. We'll help them figure out what vendors they might need. Talk to them about weather, all that stuff. And they basically walk away with a whole proposal plan. And then our next level is we have pre-packaged proposal ideas. So primarily those are with our partners. So those are already built out, and they include a location, a photographer, and then usually flowers and a couple different add-ons depending on what it is. And then we have complete customization, which means the proposer wants a certain thing, and then we customize that package for them, and we help them, get their vendors. We talk about strategy calls. We help them from the whole way through.
we're usually on site for those for setup and cleanup. So.
Okay. So by you mentioning all that, because how sometimes we do a consultation, how long consultation can take. And one thing I know I have started now, which actually I'm going to at least a deposit, because what happened, you're giving all this info, you're wasting a whole hour, your time and theirs, and then they don't want to purchase.
Right.
So do you do a consultation also with the payment?
A
retainer?
Yes. Well, so we do a
We do a
free
free
consultation. It's
How
usually
long is your free one?
15 minutes.
Okay,
So we
smart.
talk to them,
That's good.
and then we say, hey, based on what you're saying, here's the 3 different packages we have. Sit on it, think about what would suit best for you. And the whole point of that $99 one is really just, I would say that's more for the proposer who is has no idea what they want to do, and they just kind of need a starting point, and they might not need us there. It might simply be they just need a connection to a venue, or a photographer, or whatever it might be. So it's okay if we don't get a full we're on site for it. We're okay with that. But that is the point of the proposal planning starter pack, is to kind of educate them more than anything. So, but we do have that free consultation in the beginning where we'll talk to anyone for the 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Some of that changes so much now. Where before, I think I did one time for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I said, never again.
But
Never again.
definitely for like our customization packages and the
Definitely.
ones that are already built out that
Yes.
we have, that it's just like click, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we do require a deposit for those,
Yeah,
but
of course.
um, for simple ones, you know.
Yeah. You know who got the easiest on that? And I'm not going to look this other way. Videographers and photographers, I just love it. They email you. What do you want? What do you need? For how many hours? I was like, can I do that as a planner? You know.
And it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard as a planner.
It
If
is,
you're
yeah.
doing a wedding or a birthday party or any type of event, there's so many different details that go
Yeah.
into it.
So photographers and videographers, I give it to you. Thank you. We need to learn from you guys. What is your busiest season?
Probably right now, 18% of proposals happen in the month between Thanksgiving and New Year's, I would say. Yeah. So it's pretty big right now. And then that's the good thing about our business is people are always proposing. There is a true season with the height of it, but it's always happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just like weddings, they're always happening. Yeah.
Okay. How many clients do you take a month?
I think it depends on what they're looking for. If it's going to be a full-fledged customized client, that takes a lot more of our time just because we want to make sure everything is perfect for them, and there's a lot more coordination of vendors and details.
Oh, yeah.
So probably for those we would probably do maybe 2 a month. For the proposal planning starter pack, we can take probably at least, I don't know, I would say 10 to 15. Yeah, if it's truly that, and if those end up turning into something, that's really cool too.
Now, do you guys have a team, or do you do all this by yourself?
Right now, it's just the 2
Just
of
us.
us.
You guys are amazing.
So we do it on top of our full-time jobs, but we hope that at some point we'll be able to expand it so we can bring in other
You will.
employees. That's the
Please.
goal.
Yeah.
And we have
At least
people.
start with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have people already asking us. They're like, "Can I come set them up
Yeah.
with you?" Like they want to
Awesome.
and I'm like, "Sure."
We do free internships.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
yeah. You hear that?
Yeah.
Free internship. Get on. It's time to learn.
Yeah, no, I mean, the day that we can send an employee out into the field with a proposal plan and they execute it on their own, I think that will be a ginormous milestone for the 2 of us.
And I know how hard it is, to get someone to come in and work with you, because that's how I was. And then finally, I just said, I need some help. And now, thankful to my amazing assistant, Danny, just love her. She takes all the job now. Yeah, so once you have one, you're going to be good. And then the next one. Now I'm looking for others, of course, yeah.
It takes time. You
It
have
does.
to, it takes a lot of time. You have to respect your employees. You have to build a relationship with them.
Definitely.
So, we're still trying to learn how to work together as, husband and wife team, but business partners too.
That's going to be the next question. I'm going to jump on that one later on. We'll do the fun questions later. So one question someone had asked, I think you talked about it a little bit, but we're going to get more detailed. How involved are you in your clients? So if some want to say, you know what, okay, I don't want the other package where you guys can find a photographer, can I do my own? Do you all get kind of involved a little bit if they want to hire other vendors, like photography, videography, if they want to add a little cake or any?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody has something built out already, we're going to build on top of that. So let's see how we can take it up a step,
Okay.
So,
And everybody has a mom or an aunt or a friend who does
You already
photography or
know.
baking or whatever. And
Yeah,
as
how
long as
are
we,
you with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as we can talk and communicate with them and make
Sure.
sure that they, I think the biggest thing we fear is somebody saying they have a friend that does photography and it's really somebody who does as a hobby, because that's the problem is it's a once in a lifetime moment, and it's such a quick moment that you have to be able to capture it. So I think that's the only fear we have. But again, that's why would talk to them and ask for their contact information so we can coordinate with them, make sure they know what they're talking about, So, but yeah, absolutely. If somebody has a preferred vendor that they want to work with, yeah, we're totally open to that.
I do have to ask this question. I know clients forget certain things, but have they ever forgotten a ring?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But,
Yeah?
but we have
Knock on wood somewhere.
Yeah, no, oh my goodness. We do have a fake like Walmart ring that was all of $8 that we do carry around
I was
with
just
pretty
gonna add- yeah.
frequently. So God forbid something did happen, but I would hope nobody does that. But I mean, those are good points too. You know, we tell them like be smart. You know, there's certain you can get like flat ring boxes instead of the bulky ones. But
And you can put it right in your back
back
pocket.
pocket.
Slicks
Okay.
right in. Good
yeah,
to go.
there's
Okay.
even some socks that have like a built-in pocket if you want to do that.
Okay.
So. Yeah, we definitely remind them to not forget the ring. That's
Yeah.
a very
That's
important part of all
Yeah.
this.
You know, a couple of weddings that I have done, they forgot their dress. And it was a couple of belts, and then one had forgotten one of her bridesmaid dresses, and literally on my emails always says, please don't forget this, because you always, you know, you're going to forget the little thing, yeah. But thank God it worked out, yeah.
It always does.
Exactly, and that's why I would say if they could only see what happens behind the scene, you know, yeah, exactly. So my other question that we were just talking about, how well do you work? Like, what is? I know that sometimes disagreeing. I mean, as a husband and wife, bringing this business together, has it been tough? Has it been easy? You know, and then remember, you're going home. How does that work for you guys?
So it's definitely a learning experience
Yeah.
for us, you know,
Yeah.
especially, you know, we're learning as we're going. But, you know, it's definitely important to, you know, create those moments where you need to just like, hey, like we're not working on this. Like business is done, like office hours are done.
There you go.
So it's about blacking out time and stuff like that,
That's
and
right.
you know, just trying to just relax and enjoy each other's time.
Yeah.
But then, like when the business comes into play, it's more about, you know, like okay, like what are we doing this? What are we doing that? Like we try to set out about an hour or two, and we'll come over to AWL and just
Okay.
like brainstorm and like
Yes.
knock some things out and stuff like that, or we'll just do something like quick at home and just talk it out and work it out, stuff like that. So.
Yeah.
I just love you guys. I mean,
It's extremely
Yeah,
hard.
amazing.
I would not do anyone justice to say that it's super easy.
No.
And we would never lie to anybody if they asked us. I mean, I think that we've only grown to respect each other more. I think it's been really fun in a lot of ways. It's been very challenging, but it's the balance that Matt was talking about. Like, you know, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to join a co-working space, was so we had a place that we could come to, work, get our stuff done, and then when we go home, it's the separation of church and state, right? And so that was really important to us, and that's why that's just one of the many reasons why we love AWL Creative so much, is that we do have this space to do that. But just learning, because I have I have a big background difference than Matt does. So when we started working on the business, there was a lot of things I understood that he didn't understand.
Right.
And so, I would talk to him and it would be like I was speaking Chinese to him. He was like, I don't know what you're saying to me.
Say that again? Yeah.
I had to teach him, and in that process, watching his mind, like his brain turn as I'm talking about, like, we have to have goals and how are we going to meet those goals, and then he's like starting to put it together. It's really fun. It's actually a really cool process. But again, we're two employees in a sense working with each other, so we have to learn how to talk to each other, and it's almost harder because I think, I know for me, and we joke about this all the time, I assume he can read my mind. I mean, why can he not?
Right?
And so having to say, okay, let me take a step back, let me explain this differently, and then, let's pick it apart. And so it's been a learning experience, but I mean, it's hard. I mean, people who say they work with their spouse, like, they make it look super easy and stuff, but it's hard. It's very hard, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I think we are good business partners.
And I just love the way you guys do. I follow you, and sometimes I'm asking, when do they have the time? You come out with reel and videos just constantly like this, and I know you guys are doing it on your own, and I'm like, wow. So I definitely give you a lot of credit. If I were to get married, to be honest, I would feel so comfortable with you guys because you're already married. So getting the proposal ready, and I'm not just saying this because we are members and we are friends, but seriously, you do make this easy,
Yeah.
That's what we aim for.
Yeah, and that's why we wanted to do it together, because I have a female perspective and Matt has a male perspective,
Exactly.
and depending on how our client is or who our client is, who are they going to relate to more? And we wanted to have both of those voices coming to the table. And so even if my voice is louder with a certain client or Matt's is, the other can be in the background whispering in the other's ear saying, hey, from a girl's perspective or from a guy's perspective, like, don't forget this. So, and that is one of the big pros that we have of being a husband and wife team.
Okay. So this might be a little tricky question. So the person comes in, okay, the one who's going to do the proposal. How do you get the other partner? Understand. Yes.
That's such a good question. So we built out this whole so if they become a complete customized client, they take a quiz basically, and they go through, and it has a lot of probing questions, and it's about not only them, but it's about their partner as well, their likes, their dislikes, their favorite color, and very more we even ask have you guys talked about getting married? Have you talked about having kids? Do they like speaking in a public place? If they do, can they speak in front of 2 people, or is it 10 or 100? So we ask those probing questions that aren't super direct, but they help us build a profile of who that partner is and what they're like, because it's so important to know what their partner is like, so we can say hey, maybe let's not do that. Let's do this instead. So, or if they're trying to do something, being hey, do you think that she would like this too? And that always gives us an opportunity to bring in another vendor too.
Yeah, and we try to stalk a little bit on social media.
Oh yeah, we do that a lot.
Just to kind of see what they like, because there's such different styles of photography now too.
Definitely.
So you definitely want to try and make sure you're hitting every mark.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
Okay. Well, thank you. And I was I had to ask that. I would like to kind of talk about this. I know this is kind of like the example. I did ask you to bring some items. Yeah. So
these are our Marry Me lights. They're about 8 inches tall. We have Will You too. So will you marry me or just marry me? Okay. And so we call these our baby Marquee lights. They're very popular right now on social media. And so we love them. We can easily put them into a package too. So which makes it even more customizable, because we own the inventory for it, which makes it a lot easier. And then something else that's really popular too are the larger Marquee lights. So
there's about 4 foot
there's
ones.
4 foot ones. So times 4, people are really into those right now too. So we have a vendor friend that we connect with who can help us do that too. So and we also have some other inventory that we have collected from either other friends who are no longer event coordinators, and they give it to us. So we have a lot of tea lights and floating candles and vases, and so we're very fortunate. A lot of people have been here, just take it. We don't want it. And now our house, we're trying to figure out where to put it in our house. So we do have some of that, which makes it great because we already have that cost paid off. So it makes it easy for us to put it into our client's package and make it just that much more step up, special.
Okay. Yeah. That is nice. No, good. I'm glad, because I was I gotta ask about these. That's why I was bring them. Now that we are coming to the end questions, I always ask my client this. What's a nice little quote, whatever. It can be fun, it can be serious. Of course, about your business, or a quote that you want to use for your client that's kind of oh my God, am I ready for this proposal? How can I do it? I'm so shy or scared. You can think of anything.
Yeah, that's I think it's just more about, depending on how long we have in it, if we have somebody that's, I'm 3 months out from proposing. Okay, great. We can start to, mentor you and get you along with the process. Do you have something because, speaking from experience, you've got this long speech that you want to give and, leading up to it, and it's it's so impactful and so great. And then it all goes out the window because, you're so nervous. No matter how prepared you are, you're always going to be nervous. Because it's such a special moment with your partner. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So
and I think the quote we would say to our clients is, the reason we do this is we take all the stress off of you, so all you have to focus on is proposing. So I think the easiest quote we would have is, we got you. Just show up. Just show up, get down on one knee for 15 seconds.
I know, I was feeling bad.
We will make sure it's perfect. Everything in our power. Matt has almost tackled a small child. We will do anything. So So yeah, we got you is probably the quote we would go with for our clients.
That's awesome. That is so great. This is one of my favorite questions. What have you gotten from being AWL Creative member?
Oh my gosh. So
You have a list. I know.
So, just like a variation from the different co-working spaces that you can use here, from the styled shoots. We've learned so much, especially with our styled shoot that we did at the Christmas tree farm.
Yes, I saw that.
Just the different angles that really help with the photographers and stuff like that. Just being able to grow as like entrepreneurs and business owners, in this industry, I think is definitely what AWL has done for us. And I know AWL has done a little bit more for you, I feel like.
Yeah, I would say, there's literally so many reasons why we're so thankful for AWL. I would say, having a group of strong women behind you means the world, and not only them taking me in, but taking also my husband in too. We do have male members, obviously, but we're different. I don't think there is any other husband and wife team here as members. But, I think the biggest thing too is, Barbara, who is the creator behind AWL Creative, she's amazing. And every time I'm like, hey, can we do this? Or have we thought about doing that? She's like, no, but do you want to help me figure out how to do it? And
she doesn't say no.
Yeah, she never says no. And she's the epitome of an amazing entrepreneur and a strong woman and mom. And, I'm very thankful for her. She, we look up to her a lot, and we will also come in and start telling her about our business problems, and she will be the first one to say, suck it up, you're not doing something right, which you gotta appreciate.
Which I appreciate that. I love her honesty.
And I love that. I love the honesty part of it. So I mean, it's really just such a great, and the staff is amazing. Every single person who works here makes us feel so welcome, feel so loved. They all know our stories, and we try to know theirs, and just having that environment, it's just been really.
And no matter what stage you are in your business life, whether you're brand new or you're 5+ years old, it's very welcoming, and it's so many different ideas that you can incubate in here. So.
That's what when I was doing the wedding, when the COVID thing happened, that was part of her idea. She's like, why don't you do podcasting? You're so good with people. And I'm like, but don't you have to kind of do some type of learning and all this? And she's like, but you're a people person. I know that, but I don't want to be on camera all the time,
I know,
I know that. And look at it, and just feeling so comfortable. So that was, thanks to her, to getting to 5 episodes, so it's just amazing.
She is.
Oh,
She's
my
amazing.
goodness.
And just their, AWL Creative is rolling out a new, cohort. Sorry, I'm thinking of the word. Cohort, where they're, the goal is to really train young women who have started their business and help them have a very solid foundation, which, I think it's some crazy statistic, 95% of businesses don't survive after 2 years. No. And so for us to be able to have something like that in our community where women specifically can come in, grow, and not be judged, and can really figure out their business model, that's something very special too. So I'm really excited to see that the cohort be launched and grow and get some new members and make some new friends.
Amazing. So of course, before we leave, got a couple of things. Tell people where they can find you.
You can find so you can find us at on Instagram at The Local Proposal. You can also find us on TikTok. We do like to film TikToks, even though we are not as cool as the young kids that are on there. But we also have a website too, which is www.thelocalproposal.com. So I think that, and we have Facebook too.
Yeah, and all this will be listed on the description, so you will not miss it at all. I just wanted you guys to kind of let folks know. Other surprise, I know it was your anniversary. I haven't seen you. Just want to say happy anniversary. So got you a champagne and some strawberries. It kind of goes with the theme, right? Matt gonna do the honors. Listen, yeah. Woo! Casey and Matt, I just want to say this was like one of the best days. It was much needed. Thank you for making this episode 5 a wonderful moment for me. Again, hopefully one day we can work together. I cannot wait. I love seeing you here, at the AWL. And again, let's just continue to do this. If you need help, I'm here, even from far away, okay? But also just want to please, guys, follow them. They are amazing. I mean, they are such a people person. They'll make your job easier, seriously. And it's not just about the money. It's just kind of like working together. And do want to say to all audience again, thank you for following Millen's Occasion podcast. You all been wonderful for this year, and just want to wish everyone a great year. You can all follow me on Spotify and Apple Music, as well as Millen's Occasion podcast. And again, I want to thank AWL for giving me a space, or even for all of us to do this interview. Without you, this could not even happen. My butterflies, until next time. So we are going to do cheers. Yay. Yep. Again, thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Yay.